In Shiraz, Iran, there's this building that, from the outside, looks pretty much like a conventional mosque. But if you step inside at just the right moment, you're not in a simple place of worship anymore. You are inside a living, breathing kaleidoscope. So how on earth did its creators manage to build with light itself? Well, let's find out.
And this is what's waiting for you. It's this absolutely breathtaking spectacle of light and color that just floods the interior. But here's the catch. It only happens for a few precious hours each morning. It's like a natural light show, a temporary work of art that feels like it's from another world. And you can bet it's earned some truly magical nicknames because of it. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into, right? We're going to break down the science, the history, and the artistry that all come together to create one of the most visually stunning buildings on the entire planet. To really get this place, you first have to know what people call it, because honestly, the names themselves tell a huge part of the story. Okay, so first up is called the Pink Mosque, and that's for the revolutionary rose-colored tiles that cover its walls. It's also called the Rainbow Mosque for the crazy vibrant light that streams through the windows. And my personal favorite, the Kaleidoscope Mosque, for the ever-changing patterns that literally dance across the floor. Each name, it reveals another piece of the magic. But before we get to all the famous colors and light, we need to understand the human story behind it. I mean, why was this incredible, game-changing mosque even built in the first place? The whole vision for this mosque actually began with a son's grief. It was commissioned by a Qajar aristocrat named Mirza Hassan Ali, also known as Nasir al Mulk. When he came back to Shiraz in 1869, he was just devastated by his father's death. So he vowed to create a memorial that was worthy of his memory. And this masterpiece is the fulfillment of that promise. So construction kicked off in 1876, right in the middle of the Qajar era. A whole team of brilliant minds, including the architect Mohammad Hassan Memar and tile designer Mohammad Reza Shirazi, were brought on to make it happen. And it took 12 full years of meticulous, painstaking work before it was finally finished in 1888. Now, here's what's so interesting. If you were just walking by on the street, you might not even give it a second look. The outside is classic, it's got the pointed arches, the traditional brickwork. It gives absolutely no clue about the explosion of color hidden inside. It's such a clever, deliberate contrast. All right, let's step inside and actually see how the architects pulled off this masterpiece. The interior is really a symphony of three key things. It starts with the foundation, these rows of finely carved stone pillars that give the whole space its structure and depth. Then you've got the walls, which are covered in something that was truly radical for its time. And finally, the last element, the one that brings it all to life. And this is a perfect look at that second step. Just look at those intricate rose-colored tiles. Now, older mosques were almost always dominated by blues and turquoise, but the designers here made a really bold choice. This widespread use of warm pink tile was totally revolutionary, and it's what earned the building its most common nickname, the Pink Mosque. But, the pink tiles are only part of the story. Now we get to the real secret, the ingredient that transforms this space from just beautiful to, otherworldly. And it's not just art. It's a brilliant, brilliant application of science. The secret is something called orsi. That's the Persian word for these specific stained glass windows. They're this complex marriage of woodwork and colorful glass, all arranged in these stunning geometric patterns. But here's the thing. Unlike the stained glass you might see in a European cathedral, their main purpose isn't to be looked at, it's to be looked through. So here's how it all comes together. It's genius. The entire Western prayer hall was designed with one specific goal in mind, catching the morning sun. As that low-angled sunlight streams through the orsi windows, it basically acts like a projector, casting these incredible shifting patterns all across the Persian carpets and pillars. The whole idea was to engineer this peaceful, deeply meditative vibe for early morning prayer. And here's a really important difference. In Western churches, stained glass is usually there to create illuminated pictures, right? To tell a story or show a religious figure. But here, the orsi's job isn't to show you a picture, it's to create an atmosphere. The glass itself isn't the art. The light that it filters becomes the art. And the effect is just profound. A Japanese photographer named Koach captured it perfectly. He said the site is so bewitching that it seems to be from another world. He even said that the least religious person might feel their hands come together in prayer when they see it. This unique mix of elements makes the mosque way more than just a beautiful building. It's a true landmark in architectural history. So let's just quickly recap how much this design shattered tradition. It completely stepped away from the usual blues of the past and embraced these warm pinks. And unlike almost every other major Iranian mosque, it has no central dome, which gives it a completely different feeling. I mean, these choices were so huge that some scholars have called it a genuine revolution in Islamic architecture. Okay, so if you're sitting there thinking, I have to see this for myself, here is the essential info you need to know. First off, timing is literally everything. You absolutely have to go in the early morning. We're talking roughly between 7:30 and 10 a.m. to catch that incredible light show. The effect is best from fall to spring, when the sun's angle is just right. And of course, it's located in Shiraz, Iran. One last tip, for women who are visiting, a chador is required, but don't worry, they're provided for free right at the entrance. In the end, what makes the Nasir al Mulk Mosque so unforgettable is this perfect fusion. It's architecture, art, and the science of light, all working together for one single goal, to create a moment of pure spiritual awe. And all of this leaves us with one final thought. The Nasir al Mulk Mosque proves that a building can be so much more than just walls and a roof. It can be a precisely engineered instrument, designed to create a feeling, a connection to something bigger than ourselves. It really makes you wonder, can architecture be a pathway not just to shelter, but to enlightenment?